Blessings, y'all. In this corner, Boston 24. Good evening, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good on this side as always. God is great, God is good, and I definitely can't complain. What are we talking about today? We're talking about pound for pound and a debate of who is the pound for pound best fighter right now. Bud Crawford, he's been considered for the last few years. He's always been in the conversation of the best pound for pound fighter between him and Canelo. Take your pick, back and forth. It's always been him and Canelo. I always had Canelo, honestly, as pound for pound for a while. But I had no problem with Bud being in that conversation based off of his accomplishments. They both are divisions champions, world champions. You know, Bud coming from 135 to 140 to 147 champions. And Canelo coming from 147 all the way up to 175 champions. So, it's always been those two, back to back or back and forth. And if you want to be honest, nobody else has really been in that conversation as the top two. Now, Errol Spence is the unified champion, but he's never really been in the conversation of being the best pound for pound fighter, right, in the world. And Bud, he said recently that after this fight with Errol Spence, there's going to be no debate about who's pound for pound. And so I say again, Bud has been in that conversation for years with Canelo, back and forth. But Errol Spence has really never been in that conversation as pound for pound the best. So that gives you a little bit of history right there. That gives you a little bit of something. It gives you something to really look at when we talk about this fight coming up. That no matter what his accomplishments are, 28-0, 22 knockouts, and who people say he fought and how he fought them and how he damaged this person, put this person in the hospital and ended this one's career, he's never been on that Mount Rushmore of being the pound for pound best fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's just never been there and never been in that conversation. So, but Bud has always been there. Canelo has always been there. Now recently Tank has been in that conversation. Of course, Devin Haney, he's the undisputed lightweight champion. And then you got all these other fighters, man, of course, that's falling in line. Of course, I got Boots on that list as a pound for pound best fighter. You know what I'm saying? Based on his accomplishments. Shakur Stevenson. There's a lot of fighters on that list, but when you talk about the top tier, the top two, it's Canelo and Bud, based on their accomplishments, who they fought, and divisions, right? So, yeah, Bud is right. To me, there's no debate right now, but I get what he's saying. After this fight with Errol Spence on July 29th, there's not going to be any debate about who's pound for pound the best welterweight and the best fighter in the world after this accomplishment. I definitely agree with that. Listen, that don't mean that it's going to be a stick and stay situation, because there's other fighters out there that's getting ready to make their moves. So nobody holds that spot for a long time, because you always got somebody coming, you always got somebody fighting, and Boots is on the rise. He getting ready to make his mark after he headlines this fight on July 8th. So he's pushing forward. Tank is there. Shakur is coming. Devin Haney's there. Listen, man, it's a lot of fighters out here. Okay, but I'm just specifically talking about how we talk so much about Errol Spence and his accomplishment, but he's never been in that conversation. I've never heard it in no barbershop. I've never heard it in no barbershop talk. I've never heard it in the hood. I've never heard it in the restaurant, in the fast food joint. I've never heard it on the street, but I've definitely heard Bud's name out there, and Canelo Alvarez, and Tank, and Boots as the fighters, man. that's up and coming that's going to take over. But people do love Errol Spence. I'm not going to front. They do love him. They do got respect for him. There's a lot of people that believe he's going to win on July 29th. But I think we just know a little something different. And like Bud said, there ain't going to be no debate after this. All right? So that's all I really got. Let me know how you feel about this topic, this subject on pound for pound, the best after this fight. If Errol Spence does win, is he pound for pound the best? If Bud wins, is he pound for pound the best? That's a question that I have. But we know it's going to be Bud. Pound for pound the best fighter. Peace and blessings, y'all. In this corner, Boxing 24.